Yo, Still Mills, what's the deal, man? Yo, I keep making videos and some fuck shit keep happening, man. But yo, peep game though. We got to talk about Team Reynoso, Team Canelo, Canelo Gym, whatever you want to call it, man. Y'all got to get y'all house in order, man. And I shouldn't even be saying this because. Oh, hold on real quick. Here comes my grubbage. Right on. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Hey, you got it?
Yes. All right, there you go. It wasn't clean. You have a better one. But we gotta get I don't even want to say get y'all house in order. I don't want to say that because this is one man's mistake. I don't think the one man's mistake should reflect against the whole team. Oscar Valdez, I would say you got to be a lot more cognizant of what it is that you put in your body, my dude. You have to. After that performance you just had against Miguel Berchelt, when everybody was predicting you to lose and possibly get stopped, and for you to come out looking the way you look is raising a lot of eyebrows, especially after this situation. I mean, shit happens, most definitely. You could you know, I don't even know. I'm not familiar with PED users or PED use and how they work. Masking agents that can really on a test mask another, you know, drug or whatever that you're using. I don't know. I'm clueless to that. I'm clueless to it. I'm gonna have to start doing more research on it and looking into it a little bit more though. But you gotta get, you can't do that, man. You can't do that. And I think it's kind of skeptical that you are being allowed to fight with this shit lingering over your head, man. Unless you got pulled like that with the WBC or whatever. I don't know what belt you're holding, so I won't say what, what sanctioning body, but whatever belt, whoever's the head of the sanctioning body of the belt that you're holding, unless, you got that man in your, even if you had that man in your pocket, or it just looks sketchy, unless it's beyond a reasonable doubt that this was an accident. But that's hard, how do you prove that? You dig? So even, you gotta be easy, my man. You got to. After that performance, you are really under the microscope. How you knocked out Miguel Berchelt. I think that's the knockout of the year. But what's wild style to me is how the spotlight is being taken off of Oscar Valdez and put on Canelo Alvarez. So because Oscar Valdez was caught, he popped dirty for whatever it is he popped dirty with, now Canelo is being brung back into the equation. Canelo wasn't brung into the equation, and to the degree of which they're trying to bring him in now. Like they didn't hold him. They didn't hold him solely accountable when Oscar Valdez won his title. They'll credit him, yeah, he's working with Canelo, so that right there is a good look, and it's yada 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 yada, like he's with Team Canelo. Yeah, most definitely, that's what's up. You had that man in your corner to motivate you and give you pointers or whatever, but they did not take the spotlight and put it on. It wasn't about Canelo Alvarez when he won that belt. Mexico didn't throw Canelo Alvarez a parade when Oscar Valdez won that belt. So it's kind of goofy that he's being reprimanded for the actions of an Oscar Valdez. Even though you're in Canelo Alvarez's camp, so he's popped dirty also. So you can slightly mention him. I wouldn't even take issue with that if you're questioning the entire stable, but you're questioning him and immediately him, and now it's to a point where it's not even about Oscar Valdez is popping dirty, it's about Canelo Alvarez and what took place to hinder a Triple G fight from happening in the time in which it was supposed to happen. And did Canelo, what was it, 6 months to a year? Like he was suspended for some time for that, and he ended up fighting fucking Vanes Malderosa to stay busy. So I'm like, that shit is whack. That shit is whack. And for Caleb Plant to go, and he, you know, he's been doing a lot of Twitter fingers, man. He's been consistently running the Twitter and bumping his gums or whatever, man. And I'm just sitting here like, all right, bro, you know, you want to sell the fight? That's what's up, okay. But when does it get to a point where it's coming off as corny? You don't. I think that shit is whack. How you hold. For one, I don't know about supplements. Like I said, when I lift and I work out, I go all natural. I don't lift weights and put all this shit into my body. And I've never done it. I've done it. No, I take it back. I did it once, and because I had lost too much weight and I wanted to put on more muscle. And whatever it was that I was taking, my little bro gave to me. I was forcing myself to drink it. What, babies? Okay. But I was taking too much. I was forcing myself to take it because, and I, you know, it was nasty to me. What? Okay. But it was just like, nah, I can't do it. My body started rejecting it, and I almost threw it up on the last time I took it. And after that, I was like, I'm not taking this. I'm not doing this shit anymore. What? This is why I be wanting to leave you at home, child. But he was reprimanded for it, he was suspended for it, and boom, that is what it is. So the biggest thing is this, man, for you to be sponsored by and take the supplements that a dude who did time for the same shit that Canelo was doing, and you bumping your gums and running off at the mouth about it is contradictory, bro. Like, and for you to say, yo, well, he did his time, no, you know, nobody goes to jail and come back and does the same crime. Like, what hood you living in, bro? Like, you supposed to be a dude from around the way. I'm not the biggest fan of, you know, white boys carrying the persona of black, you know, black caricatures. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not. Even though it was white boys who grew up around my section, man. Like, I'm not a fan of it. And some of them I got genuine love for. But I'm not a fan of it overall, man. And in this regard, it's like, bro, you know, don't speak on Nipsey Hussle. You know, Nipsey was crippin'. He never turned his back on the 6-0s. He was crippin'. He was crippin'. You dig? He was still getting locked up. You dig? While he was who he was. You ain't heard about what happened with the Marathon store and everything. So it's like you can't. Yeah, he turned his life around, but he was still, I mean, he a hood nigga at the end of the day. Nigga still fighting and all that. He was, you know, he was still into some nefarious acts. Not to the degree of which he should have been killed. But, yo, man, like, man, I'm not running on my homies. If they get into some shit, I'm into that. You dig? So don't sit here and bring up Nipsey Hussle, because it's a very vague understanding of who Nipsey Hussle is. And just how gangs in America work. You know, that nigga was crippin' to the day he died. He just wasn't gang banging. It's different. So don't speak on Nipsey. Just, that's a sore spot. But when you talk about Victor Conte, a dude who has allegedly been, not even allegedly, he was locked up for doing the nefarious acts that he did when it came to his athletes. You can't disregard that and chastise Canelo Alvarez, you know, and they've done the same thing. The difference was, only thing, you know, the biggest punishment Canelo got was a suspension. He was locked up for it. Victor got locked up. Canelo got suspended. Like, come on, homie. Come on. What block you from? If you talking about nobody goes to jail and comes back out and does the same. That's what a repeat offender is, whether they get caught or not. Niggas sell all type of dope in the hood and go sit down for a few years and come back out and get right to doing the same thing. You want to speak on rappers, speak on King Von. Rest in peace to that nigga. King Von was facing a murder rap, a body case. Didn't say a word. The nigga that he did the hit with snitched on him, and that nigga ended up getting the chunk of the charge. 25 years or some wild shit like that. While King Von skated off and went on with his life and caught more M's after the fact. So you gotta stop with that shit, man. You gotta stop with that shit. And once again, this isn't about Canelo Alvarez. This is about Oscar Valdez. The only similarities in their name is how their last name ends. That's the only similarities that these two have. There's no reason why you should be even speaking up on Canelo and what happened with him and Golovkin as it pertains to Oscar Valdez. Because nobody gave Canelo Canelo the credit when he won that title, when Oscar Valdez won that title. So he shouldn't be getting reprimanded when Oscar Valdez fucks up. He's his own man. You can have your skepticisms, that's cool about that camp. But in this regard, y'all niggas come off as goofy. And you just continue to run your Twitter fingers, man, your Twitter fingers. And then, you know, I heard somebody say, oh, it's you know, the first thing that they do when you're talking about Mexican cuisine or whatever, and you run the tacos, it's tacos, it's tacos, it's tacos, it's tacos. You dig? There's never no carne asada. Nobody speaks on the flautas. Nobody speaks on the burritos. Nobody speaks on none of that, you dig? Nobody speaks on lengua. It's always tacos. That's real discriminative in itself, man. Like, come on, bro. All Mexicans eat is tacos? Like, what's wrong with you, bro? It's just not a good look, man. You keep running to Twitter to talk about this shit that's going on with him. And he just said VADA testing will most definitely be, we are VADA testing for this fight. Like, bro, you gotta chill, bro. You keep running back to Twitter. Every time some shit go down, you go to Twitter. Run to Twitter. Twitter fingers. Like, come on, homie. And the biggest takeaway from this is about Oscar Valdez, not Canelo Alvarez. We can't get past that. Oscar Valdez popping dirty has nothing to do with Canelo Alvarez. That's his wrongdoing that he must be reprimanded for. Y'all keep going to Canelo Alvarez, bro. No, that's not the move. That's not the move. That shit happened 4 years ago, and he hasn't had a situation like that since. So for y'all to keep bringing, you want to keep bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up when it's not even a situation that is pertaining to him. It's an associate. Guilty by association. Ain't that the same shit that we be trying to get away from? So because I kick it with him, that means I'm doing what he's doing? Like, come on, man. What the fuck? What the fuck? You just keep popping off and popping off and popping off and popping off into, you know, oh man, his fights is this, he ain't did this. He, you know, in his first 30 fights, he had, you know, I was fighting better opposition than the amateurs. And he was 15 when he first turned pro. He was 15. Oh, he's 3-1 in his biggest 3 fights, and all, like, or 1-3 or whatever. Like, you're gonna look vulnerable when you step up in competition. That's the point, to test yourself at the highest level. So shit that you do when you would normally run over somebody, you can't do with them because you're meeting a certain amount, you're meeting a certain level of resistance. That's why, that's the point of these fights. You want to fight opposition like that. You want to fight opposition that's gonna make you look vulnerable. Who have you fought to make you look vulnerable? You know, you talking about Uzcategui was the boogeyman of the division. Says who? When was he ever that? You dig? You know, just you're not Laura, you're not Golovkin, you're not Floyd. You're not none of that. So you can't sit here and say, oh man, his opposition is this and his first 30 oppositions, and then all right, now we get past the 30 opposition. Now he's 1-3 in his biggest fight. Some, like, come on, man. Like, all right, cool if he is. All right, bet that. But where's your Golovkin? Where's your Laura? Where's your Floyd? Hell, where's your Danny Jacobs? You know, inquiring minds want to know. You know, who are you to sit here and to, you know, and say the shit that you're saying and feel so confident and feel so, you know, feel so thorough in your standing and in your positioning? Because you're not him. You're not. You're not. And for you to sit there and chastise this man for what he did 4 years ago and keep that shit kind of fresh in people's mind, but disregard the fact that the dude that's sponsoring you and getting you your supplements was locked up for the same act, and you're trying to alleviate his wrongdoing, talking about people can change and he paid his debt to society and all that. Like, you look like you got, like, you all over the place right now, doggy. You gotta chill, man. You gotta chill, because you're not looking, you know, man. You looking nervous right now. You looking real nervous. You looking real nervous. Now that this fight is official, man. You looking like, man, do I want to do this? Do I want to? You gotta stop, my nigga, because nah, bro, that ain't the move. That ain't the move at all. Before you, don't throw, what they say, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. And that house you living in, it's a china cabinet. It's a china cabinet, straight up and down, man. You are not him. You can't do that. You can't do that. You bite your tongue when it comes to these cheating allegations. You bite your tongue because of who's behind you. Jesus Christ, these fucking Twitter fingers, man. Niggas is crazy. I'm out.